This car was built as a Richard Childress Racing Goodwrench Lumina, and Dale Earnhardt raced it in black 4 times. It was rebodied as a Monte Carlo, and he finished 5th in it in Dover. Then it was turned over to the show car division, and they lettered it like this in the Wheaties scheme to promote Earnhardt's selection as the first NASCAR driver ever to appear on a Wheaties box. They did race a Wheaties car in the Winston All-Star race in 1997. However, this is not that car. That car is still with Richard Childress Racing. This was the promotional car for Wheaties, but it was an actual Dale Earnhardt-driven Goodwrench race car. So it's an authentic RCR car in the Wheaties scheme. And after Wheaties was done with it, it was donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and sold off, raffled off, and in a private collection since 1997. All the signs from Make-A-Wish, pictures of Dale, and all of the Wheaties memorabilia go along with the car. So it is a very unique piece of history, a legitimate Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet driven by Dale Earnhardt, and now liveried as the Wheaties promotional car.
$105, so $100,000 up in the skybox. Thank you.
Question was raised if this car ever won a race. It did not, but at Rockingham in 1993, Dale started 22nd and finished 2nd. Now note that Davey Allison's driver's suit, framed, displayed to the left, that accompanies the car. Here comes Rusty up to the block.
Robert drove the car up. He'll go to the podium as well. Won the 92 500, raced all the restrictor plate races at Daytona and Talladega that year. And in fact was driven by Davey Allison the following year at Talladega, his final appearance at the track before he tragically lost his life in a helicopter crash at Talladega.
007 at Charlotte, turned around, backed in the wall, so we missed that one. And then Darlington, the Western Auto Batteries wouldn't crank the jet dryer, so Darrell Waltrip won that race. But anyway, 92 was a good year for most of the year. This car was a good part of it, even 91. So we have all the records on this car from Larry McReynolds' handwritings right here. So if anybody wants to put a Talladega set up under it, I'll be there for you. All the records, every time this car was run and practiced. It's the car. It wrecked with Earnhardt, but it hasn't wrecked since we won the Daytona 500. So
both Robert and crew chief Larry McReynolds spent several days poring over all the mechanical details on this car. You can see the exhaust system that was changed at Larry's insistence based on his notes for where the exhaust should exit. There was no engine fan on this car. They didn't run one in the Daytona 500 that year, so they made a lot of changes that way to make sure that mechanically everything was as it was when this car rolled into victory lane in February 1992.
And this was the backup car, as we've already talked about, pulled out of the truck when he crashed his primary, started last in what is now his Gatorade Duel, and finished 3rd, and then went on and won the Daytona 500. This car has an incredible pedigree. This is a real car, the one he took to the Goodwood Festival of Speed and tried to break records with it.
They invited a group of NASCAR cars to celebrate the 60th anniversary of NASCAR. Also participating were Hendrick Motorsports, Richard Childress Racing, and Red Bull Racing.
One of the funny stories about this car, when I drove it in Goodwood, it actually broke the record going up to the mountain, and I was all excited about it. When I got up there, they said it's not going to stand. I said, why not? I said, because you didn't bring your FIA driver's license. I said, you're going to be kidding me. I come all on a boat all the way over here?
So for $95,000.
$95,000.